To write this book, he traveled across the world in search of proving his belief that sales is in everything we do, and especially in traveling.
I already like this guy. Author and traveling salesman John Marquardt joins us to talk about the book called The Grass is Browner on the Other Side and how great the Bruins are. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Don't cause trouble with the Bruins.
You know, he's giving me a bad time because I went to Shanley High School.
I am, man, but it's all in good fun. And let's talk about your book. It sounds like it was an exciting experience to go to Cyprus and do this thing.
It was awesome. You know, I wanted to rewrite the way that sales books are written because, you know, the millennial generation, they want to be entertained. They're playing on their phone as they're playing on their computer, and they're talking to their friend next door. So I wanted to write something that would entertain them instead of allowing them to be bored 2 chapters in. So traveled to Cyprus, and I acted out my sales concepts in my travels. So I teach networking on a bus and negotiating on a beach, and it makes for a much more interesting read.
So how about negotiating in a studio? Like, walk us through what were you doing on the beach negotiating?
Well, you know, the concept is, I call it accidental learning. So I'm telling a story where you're kind of wondering, why is this guy talking about this goofy story? So the beach, there's a girl crying. And all of a sudden I'm talking to the girl that's crying on the beach, and you're thinking this has nothing to do with sales, nothing to do with business, and I incorporate the concept later, and it makes for kind of an interesting read.
Nice.
And I know that you're also then going to be going and talking to Shanley, so is that kind of what you're going to be talking to them about? Or?
So I was actually at Shanley yesterday, and I was talking about career pathing. I think, you know, our younger generation, they don't think about their careers early on. And I wanted them to start thinking about, what do you want to do? If I would have known that I was going to write a book back when I was at Shanley, I think I would have paid attention to my classes a little bit differently. And maybe I would have worked a little bit harder at my English class. But my career path, it went very different. You know, you kind of bounce all over the place. And I think that's the normal career path nowadays, whereas we used to think it would go in a straight line. It doesn't anymore. And you might end up writing a book, and that might become your passion. And I wanted to make sure that the students knew that thinking about your career now is as important as thinking about what college you're going to go to.
So you wrote this book on a beach. What's the impetus for the title?
So that title came from the millennial generation job hopping all over the place. I call it the grass is greener epidemic in the U.S. They take a job for 3 months and they get bored and they're looking for another job. And then they take another job for 6 months and they're looking for another job. So when I would interview these people at my last company, I was working at a startup and I was helping scale for sales and for service. And when I would interview them, I was consistently seeing this pattern. And anytime I see someone that doesn't make it a year, I ask one question: what went wrong? Something went wrong. You know, they either didn't do a good job and the company wanted them to leave, or the job that they took wasn't what they thought it was. And there's a lot that you get out of taking a job and staying there for at least a year and committing to watering your own grass and growing the greenest grass on the block. So my interpretation is the grass is browner on the other side. Stay exactly where you're at, water your own grass, and develop something, and what you develop you'll be much more proud of, and you'll actually earn that nice piece on your resume instead of a guy like me saying, what happened, what went wrong?
Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want the bad questions coming your way.
Yeah. It's like the Bison say, attack the process. All right, stick around. Much more coming up about why the grass is browner. We'll be right back.